My parents, they never wanted me. They wanted something to control, something to manipulate. They didn't want me. I I became so tired of being my mother's punching bag. I never felt like I wasn't a burden to her. Family dynamic that I was brought up in is not normal, and I recognize that. I just feel like I deserved so much more than that. Being a donor conceived person means I was wanted really badly. I wasn't an accident. I wasn't just a miracle. I was medically meant to be here. Do you know what I mean? They wanted me so bad, they paid for me. But then why do they treat me like that? How can they be so evil and so heartless to something that they desperately wanted to have children? They prayed and they waited to have a child. And they got impatient. And they were very close to adopting some other baby before they got pregnant with my brother, my sibling. So then they had a second donor conceived baby, and it was me. I was meant to be here. But this is not how you treat me. I deserve to be treated with way more respect than what my family is doing. I recognize that. And I don't want my children to fall victim to the narcissism and the triangulation. I don't want that for my family. I don't want to hold money or love over my children's heads and say, you must obey and be loyal to us, or you get nothing from us. It's not how I want to live in complete silence, all because my parents are so ashamed, and there's just so many lies that I was waiting for the moment to finally report my sexual abuse, and it was like, boom, a bombshell hit my world. And then because I find out I'm donor conceived, and I can't even, I'm shell shocked, like traumatized, because I thought I had worked up to this moment of finally being the mother I never had to 4 beautiful blessings. And then I had to deal with the emotional trauma of finding out I'm donor conceived, and it's a lot. As a mom of 4 who struggles with postpartum depression after each pregnancy, I'm happy that I found out that I was donor conceived when I did, but I'm not happy with the way it was discovered. But it was meant to be. This was all supposed to happen, and I can share my story. And I'm a survivor, and I did it. And I have the courage to finally step up to the plate and say my truth. And I'm really proud of myself for that. Like, I used to be really, really scared of having to speak up for myself and advocate for myself, because I was always afraid of what my family would do. I was afraid of not having them because they're the first people I've ever loved. It's survival. That's what you do to survive. You have to rely on your caregivers. And uh, unfortunately, that comes with the burden and the cost of having to stay loyal and stay quiet. And it was a heavy burden to bear, and I can't do it anymore. I deserve way more love, way more joy in my life. And the reason I'm here is to ignite change. I will not be silenced anymore. And my story is an important one where we can learn from these mistakes and not repeat them. At the end of the day, as a donor conceived person, I feel like I was really robbed of having a normal family, having normalcy, because I was sold to these really dysfunctional people. There was so much abuse in that house. My parents needed therapy before they ever needed to have children. And the fact that I wasn't even told I'm donor conceived and I was medically made frozen in some laboratory, half of me, that's a big portion of that, of my DNA. Half of my DNA was sold to parents who didn't need to have me. I'm grateful every single day to be able to be present and advocating for myself. And I'm so proud of the person I have become. And I am enough. My story is so important. And I hope no other donor conceived people have to continue living in silence. It's not fair. This shouldn't have happened. But it is what it is. So, I don't know. I hope that one day laws and regulations are made to protect donor conceived individuals. Maybe there just needs to be some sort of registry that tells us that we're donor conceived, or it should have been on my birth certificate, should have been in my medical history, but that's a long story about what happened to my medical history. You think that the government has laws to protect you, but unfortunately, the reality is if you have money to bribe someone, a mandated reporter, someone who's supposed to report abuse, took a bribe from a minister, another mandated reporter, to hide sexual abuse. And if you have money, it's scary what you can do. If that doctor is desperate enough to take that money, well, he's happy to commit the crime if the price is right. It's scary. It's really scary. But I share my story because the truth is better than living a lie. But yeah, take care.